Well, let's move on now to the election results, and we start with the local election races across Yakima and Kittitas counties, with 2 Yakima districts electing county commissioners. In the race for District 2, Republican Carl Curtis has won re-election somewhat comfortably against his Democrat opponent, Susan Soto Palmer. Curtis has polled 59% of the votes recorded so far as of today. And in the Yakima County Commissioner District 3 election, which was possibly the most bitterly contested, it was a big win for incumbent Republican LaDon Lindy, winning what was at times a very contentious race against his Republican opponent Elpidia Saavedra. Lindy has polled 67% of the votes counted. Let's turn our attention now to the local races for state roles and the election for the Legislative District 14 Senate seat. It looks like Republican Curtis King has taken that race. The incumbent senator is standing on 53% of the votes cast, ahead of his opponent Maria Beltran on 47%. In the race for District 14's legislative representatives, position 1, Republican Gloria Mendoza would appear to have that seat won. She has polled 54% of the votes in the latest results released today. And in the race for District 14's second position 2, the Republican Deb Mangeras seems comfortably ahead in that election. She stands on 54% of the votes counted, 9 points ahead of Democrat Anna Ruiz Kennedy. Now in the race for District 15's legislative representative position 1, Chris Corey has very easily taken that race, recording 73% of the votes counted so far. And in the race for District 15's position 2, the former representative for this position, Republican Jeremy Dufault, would also clear to be very comfortably ahead of his opponent. He's got 73% of the votes counted to now. Now, if you have a story you'd like us to look into, let us know on our tit line. Send an email to tips@kimatv.com. You can also call us at 575-KIMA. And make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, in the very hotly contested race for the United States Washington Congressional District 4 election, incumbent Representative Dan Newhouse would appear to be just hanging on to a very slim lead. He's standing on 54.45% of the votes in the latest count. That race is too close to call really for now, although Newhouse has moved very slightly further ahead from last night's initial count. And in the election for the United States Washington Congressional District 8, incumbent Representative Democrat Kim Schreier would appear to be very comfortably re-elected with 55% of the votes counted. Well, let's look now at the state election results, and with the race for the governor's mansion, it looks like Bob Ferguson is going to be leading the state for the next 4 years. He is currently polling 57% of the votes counted so far, probably an unassailable lead. In the race for the lieutenant governor, the Democrat Denny Heck has polled just under 57% of the votes tabulated, with Dan Matthews trailing with just under 43%. In the race for the United States Senate, incumbent Senator Maria Cantwell also seems to be comfortably re-elected. Of the results announced so far, she's polling 60% of the votes counted. In the election for Secretary of State, the Democrat Steve Hobbs appears to be safely elected with just under 60% of the votes counted so far, with Republican Dale Whitaker trailing on 40%. In the election for State Treasurer, the Democrat is also comfortably leading in that race. 58% of voters have given him their support to 42% for the Republican challenger. In the election for State Auditor, another Democrat appears to be comfortably elected, with Patrice McCarthy on 59% of the votes to Republican Mac Hawkins, 41%. Well, with incumbent Bob Ferguson seeking election as governor, we know Washington will have a new Attorney General, and in that race, another Democrat is well ahead, as Nick Brown is on 56%, or almost 57%, of the votes counted to Republican Pete Serrano's 44%. The election for Commissioner of Public Lands will also see a new winner, as Hillary France is not running in this election, and Democrat Dave Upthegrove is currently polling 53% of the vote compared to 47% for Republican Jamie Herrera Butler. In the election for Washington Insurance Commissioner, another Democrat leads in that race. Paddy Kudera has polled 57, almost 58% of the votes counted, with Republican Phil Fortunato behind on 43%. And finally, in the election for Superintendent of Public Instruction, Chris Reichdahl would seem to be holding on to that position. In the results so far, he's polling 54% of the votes compared to 46% for his opponent, David Olson.